Compounding doesn't rely on earning big returns. Merely good returns are sustained, uninterrupted for the longest period of time, especially in times of chaos and havoc. We always win. A plan is only useful if it can survive reality. And a future filled with unknowns is everyone's reality. A good plan doesn't pretend this weren't true. It embraces it, emphasizes room for error. The more you need specific elements of a plan to be true, the more fragile your financial life becomes. It comes in many forms: a frugal budget, flexible thinking, and a loose timeline. Anything that lets you live happily with a range of outcomes. It's different from being conservative. Conservative is avoiding a certain level of risk. Margin of safety is raising the odds of success at a given level of risk by increasing your chances of survival. Its magic is that the higher your margin of safety, the smaller your edge needs to be to have a favorite outcome. Optimism is usually defined as a belief that things will go well, but doesn't complete. Sensible optimism is a belief that odds are in your favor and that over time things will balance out to a good outcome, even if what happens in between filled with misery. And in fact, it will be filled with misery. You can be optimistic that a long-term growth trajectory is up and to the right, but equally sure that the road between now and then is filled with landmines, and always will be. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Okay. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. People want to become wealthier to make them happier. Happiness is complicated. Happiness is a complicated subject because even everyone's different. But if there's a common denominator in happiness, oh my god, I cannot focus. Focus. Happiness, a universal feel of joy as the people want to control their lives. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want is priceless. It is the highest divided money piece. Yeah, so the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want is priceless. It is the highest divided money piece. Having a strong sense of controlling one's life is more dependable predictor of positive feelings of well-being than any other objective conditions of life we have considered. More than your salary, more than the size of your house, more than the prejudice of your job. Control over doing what you want, when you want to, with people you want to, is the broadest lifestyle variable that makes people happy. Money's greatest intrinsic value, and this can be overstated, is its ability to give you control over your time, to obtain bit by bit a level of independence and autonomy that comes from unspent assets that give you greater control over what you can do and when you can do it. A small amount of wealth means the ability to take a few days off work when you're sick without breaking the bank. Gaining the ability to use if you don't have it. That can be life-changing. 6 months emergency expenses means not being terrified of your boss because you know you want to be ruined if you have to take some time off to find a new job. More still mean the ability to take a job with a lower pay but the flexible hours. Maybe one with a shorter commute, or being able to deal with the medical emergency without the added burden of worry about how you'll pay for it. Then there's retiring when you want to instead of when you need to. Using your money to buy time and options with a lifestyle benefit few luxury goods can compete with. But doing something you love in a schedule you can't control can feel the same as doing something you hate. When you accept how true the statement is, you realize that a lie which towards a lie that lets you what you want, when you want, with who you want, where you want, for as long as you want, has incredible return. I said no. That didn't make a big difference in my life. There was just more money in the bank. The difference happened when I was 22. Part of what's happened here is that we've used our greater wealth to buy bigger and better stuff, but we've simultaneously given up more control over our time. At best, those things cancel each other out. But it feels like you are working 24/7 compared to generations prior. Control over your time has diminished. And since controlling your time is such a key happiness influencer, we shouldn't be surprised that people don't feel much happier even though we are, on average, richer than ever. It was my dream to have one of these cars of my own because I thought they sent such a strong signal to others that made it. You're smart, you're rich, you have a taste, you're important. Look at me. We tend to judge whether by what we see because that's the information we have in front of us. We can't see people's bank account or brokerage statements, so we rely on our appearances to gauge financial success. Cars, homes, Instagram photos. Modern capitalism makes it helping people fake it until they make it a cherished industry. But the truth is that wealth is what you don't see. Wealth is not the car is not purchased, the diamond is not bought, the watch is not worn, the clothes forgone, and the first class upgrade declined. Wealth is financial assets that haven't yet been converted into the stuff you see. That's not how we think about wealth, because you can contextualize what you can see. Ambassador Bill Maher once wrote, "There is no faster way to feel rich than to spend lots of money on really nice things. But the way to be rich is to spend money you have and not spend money you don't have. It's really that simple." It is excellent advice, but it may not go far enough. The only way to be wealthy is to not spend the money that you do have. It's not just the only way to accumulate wealth. It's the very definition of wealth. We should be careful to define the difference between wealthy and rich. It is more than semantics. Not knowing the difference is a source of countless poor money decisions. Rich is a current income. Someone driving a $100,000 car is almost certainly rich, because even if they purchased the car with debt, You need a certain level of income to afford the monthly payment. Same with those who live in big homes. It's not hard to spot rich people. They often go out of their way to make themselves known. But wealth is hidden. It's income not spent. Wealth is options. Wealth is an option not yet taken to by something later. Its value lies in offering you options, flexibility, and the growth to one day purchase more stuff than you could right now. Exercise is like being rich, you think. I did work and I now deserve to treat myself to a big meal. Well, this is turning down a cheap meal and actually burning net calories. It's hard and it requires self-control, but it creates a gap between what you could do and what you choose to do that accrues to you over time. The problem for many of us is that it is easy to find rich role models. It's hard to find wealthy ones because by definition of their success is more hidden. There are, of course, wealthy people who also spend a lot of money on stuff. But even in those cases, what we see isn't their richness, not their wealth. We see the cars they chose to buy and perhaps the school they choose to send their kids to. We don't see the savings, retirement accounts, or investment portfolios. We see the homes that they bought, not the homes they could have bought, as they stretched themselves thin. The danger here is that I think most people, deep down, want to be wealthy. They want freedom and flexibility, which is what financial assets not yet spent can give you. But it is so ingrained in us that to have money to spend money that you don't get to see the restraint it takes to actually be wealthy. And since we can't see it, it's hard to learn about it. Imagine how hard it would be to learn how to write if you couldn't read the words of the great authors. Who would be your inspiration? Who would you admire? Those nonsense tricks and tips would you follow? It would make something that is already hard even harder. It's difficult to learn from what you can see, which helps explain why it's so hard for many to build wealth. Keep this in mind when quickly judging others' success and setting your own goals. My observation is that yes, many do. Past a certain level of income, people fall into three groups. Those who save, those who don't think they can save, and those who don't think they need to save. This is for letter 2. The first idea, simple, but it's overlooked, is that building wealth has a little to do with your income and investment returns and lots to do with your savings rate. A quick story about the power of efficiency. The same is true with our money. Investment returns can make you rich, but whether an investing strategy will work and how long it will work for, and whether markets will cooperate is always in doubt. Results are shrouded in uncertainty. Personal savings and frugality, finances conservation, and efficiency. If you view building wealth as something that will require more money and a big investment returns, you may become as pessimistic. If you view it as powered by your own frugality and efficiency, the destiny is clear. Wealth is just the accumulated leftovers after you spend what you take in. And since you can build wealth without a high income but have no chance of building wealth without a high saving rate, it's clear which one matters more. I'm better off than you are. Despite being a worse investor, I'm getting more benefit from my investments despite lower returns. The same is true for incomes. Learning to be happy with the less money creates a gap between what you had and what you want. Similar to gap you get from growing your paycheck, but easier and more in your control. A high savings rate means having lower expenses than you otherwise could, and having lower expenses means your savings go farther than you would if you spent more. Everyone needs the basics. Once they are covered, there is another level accountable by basics. And past that, there is basics that are both comfortable, entertaining, and in alignment. When you define saving as a gap between your ego and your income, you realize why many people with decent incomes save so little. It's a daily struggle against instincts to extend your pack of feathers to their outermost limits and keep up with others doing the same. People with enduring personal finance success, not necessarily those with high incomes, tend to have a propensity to not give a damn what others think about them. Saving can be created by spending less. You can spend less if you desire less, and you will desire less if you care less about what others think of you. Savings can be created by spending less. You can spend less if you desire less, and you will desire less if you care less about what others think of you. As I argue often in this book, money relies more on psychology than finance. But saving does not require a goal of purchasing something specific, gaining control over your time. That flexibility and control over your time is an unseen return on wealth. I say it's incalculable. Savings in the bank that earn 0% interest might actually generate an extraordinary return if they give you the flexibility to take a job with a lower salary but more purpose, or wait for the investment opportunities that come when those without flexibility turn desperate, and that hidden returns become more important. If you have a flexibility, you can wait for good opportunities. Both your career and your investments all have a better chance of being able to learn a new skill when it's necessary. You'll feel less urgency to chase competitors who can do things you can't, and have more liberty to find your passion and your niche at your own pace. You can find a new routine at slow pace and think about life with a different set of assumptions. The ability to do those things when most others can is one of few things that will set you apart in a world where intelligence is no longer a sustainable advantage. Having more control over your time and options is becoming one of the most valuable currencies in the world. That's why more people can and more people should save money.